Hello everyone, I all hope you have very much quite have a wonderful day and very much quite have a wonderful day and also quite have a blessed, great morning indeed, guys. Well, despite that, guys, I'm so really grateful for you guys' support and for you guys exactly still watching me and still exactly remaining on my journey as well. Completely means a lot. Thank you to all of you from literally from all of you from shorts and from long videos in YouTube and from those of you who are subscribing in YouTube and those of you who are quietly subscribing in YouTube as well and from those of you in TikTok as well or quietly also completely following me quietly means a lot to me. So really grateful for you guys. Please continue to like and also subscribe on my channel on below on YouTube and as well in TikTok if you want to. Would quietly mean a lot. But regardless of that, guys, have a blessed day and stay happy and stay very quietly grateful of the day. It is quietly cloudy and also still quietly very beautiful. Despite that, enjoy yourselves and have a blessed week. So on today's episode, we're to speak about Infinita, who is the legendary founder and leader of the Eclipse clan, which actually comes from the Mixel universe. According throughout the entire sacred Formation Hunter, according to Formation Hunter history, Infinita was one of the most greatest and most powerful individual to wield infinite powers and infinite powers and greater techniques, and that she was the only powerful being capable of going toe to toe with Ron Orion of the Orion clan that actually resonates from the sacred world. It is said that the two clans were quietly in war. It is actually said that the two clans were quietly in war over for soul dominance, over for soul control and dominance, over for soul control and dominance of the sacred world and of the Mixel world and of the Mixel universe and of the sacred universe as well, which that the two founding legendary leaders went into combat against each other for to securing their own futures. Despite that, guys, Infinita had a powerful goal and a powerful, and interesting ambition that she was trying to actually succeed by trying to recreate a unification dream where all the clans within the Mixel universe would actually live within the entire sacred universe. So that dream can actually become a reality. But she actually called it the baseful dreams of the actual baseful dreams of reality, where she becomes the soul superior godlike being able to cast the great unification dream, making sure that it was able to actually bear fruit. But that dream was actually going toe to toe with Ron's Orion superior dream and goal, known as the soul unification goal, which he was trying to eradicate wars and poverty and famine throughout the entire warring states of the sacred universe's great nation, to which he believed he was trying to also to do that as well out of his own free will for the Ryan clan and for the rest of the Four Nation Hunters and for the rest of the Great Four Nation Hunters and of the rest of the Sacred Hunters, to which the two legendary leaders fought for for control, and for more than that, they fought for the great dreams that they were trying to literally accomplish, to which both of them never successfully bear fruit, to which both of them exactly never actually bear fruit, not even exactly once and not even exactly twice, which the great descendants of the clans decided to create it and formed to create ancient monumental legendary statues of the great two superior founders, one of Infinita, the other of Ron Orion, on the opposite side of the waterfall, to which the ancient statues of them will be quietly be to which the ancient statues of them will be quietly be located in the ancient waterfall of light and shadows, to which is quietly within the ancient which is quietly within the ancient which is quietly within the valley of the light, which was quietly formed after the great carnage and battle, which the valley of the light is an actual powerful war front field where ancient beings and great powerful forces of evil wage war with each other for soul control. Despite that, it was the dreams of unification fighting against the will of the reunification dream itself, against Orion's true goal as well. And one more thing, guys, Infinita's story and past is very painful and very quietly heartache and solely not a very good one, not a very good character to actually to be speaking about. Despite that, I hope you guys will understand what I'm actually talking through it. So let's begin. During Infinitor's life within the warring states of the Eclipse clan, she was quietly a prodigy among her sisters and brothers, which they are exactly about five of them, and five of them on the other side, which only makes only 10 of them that were able to exactly rise to the occasion due to their greatest abilities when the current mother exactly died during the warring states of the Star Empire, trying to take control of the sacred universe during its ancient times, during its ancient greater times. With that exactly being said, Infinita's father began training the young siblings and his children to great spiritual training in order to harnessing their powers and their capabilities during at the great warring states period as well. Over time, at the age of six, Infinita quietly met Ron, which she quietly exactly came across him through the ancient waterfall, through the ancient waterfall of mystery, to where they exactly able to meet each other, and they were able to exactly grew closer and closer to one another, despite the two of them did not exactly know that each one of them were actually coming from different opposite clans of each other, that quietly exactly were solely in rivalry and destined to actually kill one another for sole dominance and control as well, to which the entire ancient races were quietly destined to exactly do for all time and for all centuries as well. Regardless of that, Infinita quietly grew very close and comforting by Ron's true ambition and by his true devotion to his goal and to his mission, as both of them exactly remarked of a powerful dream of a vision that could exactly be created for themselves and for the rest of their people. But to the end, they quietly know that it will never actually happen due to the warring states periods taking much more time and much more years for it to actually to be dissolved at the right particular moment. At the age of particularly at the age of 12, Infinita quietly grew very highly skilled in combat and highly skilled in mastering fire abilities, great destructive fire abilities, and great fire ability powers and nature abilities, and also lightning abilities powers, which are highly destructive and highly concentrated with a very quietly destructible beam of power and mass of it as well at this end of the time. During at that age period, she lost one of her sisters and brothers through the great war of the enemy, to which she quietly exactly grew a very distrustful hatred, to which she was able to actually gain a very powerful distrustful hatred and a very complexion of the enemies and those of quietly surrounding the entire clan of itself as well. At the age of actual 14, Infinita and Ron completely exactly met within the ancient waterfall of mystery, to where they were able to actually compliment on their great work. Before they were actually able to do that, two of the other members of the clan jumped in order to save one another, but Infinita exactly stay close to one of the other members of her clan, while so did Ron Orion, to realizing that the both of them were quietly in stalemate, and they exactly decided to cancel their dream in order to fight one another. Realizing that she has no siblings and no brothers left, and only the other remaining members of her siblings quietly remaining with her, she decided to actually protect them, and she decided to actually abandon the dreams that her and Ron were quietly willing to achieve at any cost as well. Over the following centuries, Infinita's power has grown more powerful and more very dangerous due to various techniques and abilities that she was completely able to master and gain with ease, even fighting up against Ron Orion of the Orion clan in order for them to take in control. During over the Warring States period, she was able to lose her brother and sisters by Ron Orion's brother, and also by Ron Orion's two brothers, who were able to completely kill them both. During at that time, Ron Orion exactly wanted to tell Infinita to exactly surrender everything that the Mixel universe and the entire Mixel nations exactly own, and return it back to the Orion clan, to which that's where the sole superiority of the clan exactly exists, to which Infinita exactly refused to do so. Nearing at the time, she was quietly able to give her brother and sister a proper send, but before she was able to completely do that, she decided it's best to acquire the formidable powers and the formidable techniques and abilities in order to fight up against Ron Orion for the one last time. Within the Within the middle century, she was able to exactly summon as much members of the Eclipse clan to witness the demise and great fall of Ron Orion, to which she demonstrated her full forbidden power by literally gazing upon a giant monster-like creature in order to desiccate and decimate everything within its true proximity, to where Ron Orion was able to also do the exact same thing, duplicating the exact same thing in order to fight for the one last time, to which the both legendary leaders fought for one last time, and they were able to exactly gain true understanding, to which Infinita was forced to actually surrender, but she didn't exactly surrender under one condition, that her people must not exactly suffer for her actions or anything else. Ron Orion quietly completely agreed that they will not exactly suffer for her action, that the Eclipse clan will remain the way it is and will be heavily be respected. They will not be scrutinized and will not be orchestrated or ousted from the entire sacred worlds and warring states of the other sacred great clans of the other sacred great clans, and the Phoenician hunters and the origins would definitely respect the great relations that the two clans exactly share with one another, between the Mixel universe and between the sacred universe itself as well, that the peace will be formed and the unification will definitely beginning to take place as well. Over the following centuries, Infinita's people grew very quietly closer to the Phoenician hunters and very quietly closer to the Orion clan, to which Orion's clan's project began taking a grateful phase as the Phoenician hunters and the White Council and the Great White Council and the Great White Council and the Alien Intergalactic Council of the Great Diplomacy all exactly began to meet at the hall, all exactly began to meet at the Hall of Promise, which houses an ancient shrine, of ancient dragon creatures, of statues and godlike beings and godlike ancient beings, and few powerful and mysterious, great few mysterious ancestral, great few mysterious ancestral beings and mysterious unknown angel creatures and beings that are quietly of these statues that are quietly exactly scattered around the shrine itself. They are completely white statues as an actual great resemblance of true respect of the great beings and of their great ancestors as well at the time. During to which at the time Infinita was able to pay close attention during to the great meeting, as all the other leaders began to demonstrate that the Orion clan is after all the superior clan within the entire sacred world, and that it's best that it becomes it becomes the sole definition and the drive that drives it with its true purpose and true content as well. Realizing that the Orion clan is about to gain sole superiority, dominance over the entire sacred universe, and it's only a matter of time before it gains sole superiority control over the Mixel universe, Infinita thought it's best that she shows Ron Orion something that she totally discovered with her very own eyes as well. Within the very same predicament of that day, or within the middle centuries, Infinita took Ron Orion within the ancient shrine, within the ancient middle shrine hideout that was quietly buried, that was actually quietly buried within the Phoenician, that was actually quietly buried within the Phoenician hunter hideouts, which left ancient shrines and ancient storytellings of powerful beings. Infinita was able to tell Ron Orion the full secrecy and the full contempt of what the ancient predecessors and their great progenitors were trying to achieve at that particular rate of their own previous timing, to which the great progenitor of the Mixel universe wanted to create an entire Mixel society where all creatures lived as one and embodied one dream of one another, which he called the embodied power dream. An embodied power dream, which means all creatures will be highly in power and be in control of their own destinies, free to choose their own fate by creating nothing but a powerful based illusionary dream by using a formidable dark technique known as a technique of infinite magic, which this infinite magic will be cast upon the entire sacred universe in order to trapping everyone else inside a powerful inter-reality of a different imaginary world where everything else is erased from it entirely. Ron Orion was very quietly skeptical of this higher project that Infinita was trying to do. With that also actually trying to be said, Infinita also quietly explained to him that the progenitor of the Mixel universe wanted to use this forbidden technique in order to demonstrate his godlike powers and his godlike abilities to his descendant, making sure that the techniques and powers remain highly strong and highly invincible at the rate, possessing the power of death and life, possessing the power of death and possessing the power of life itself. And then within the middle, it possesses the great power of all mixel creation itself, with the ability of recreating a creature and its all, and with the ability of recreating a creature, and a creature that exactly embodies all of the other creatures' DNAs, all of the other creatures' DNAs, all of the other creatures' DNAs and bloodlines as well, which Infinita was able to tell that the ancient creature itself was known as the embodied creature, known as the embodied hybrid, possesses all the techniques and every type of it, that the creature itself was able to erase and eradicate wars with a snap of a finger due to its destructive power and to its infinite godlike abilities as well. Ron Orion was very quietly skeptical as he decided to help Infinita with the goal in order to be fighting another ancient battle against another powerful warrior clan, known as the Clan of Destiny, and against its founding legendary leader himself, known as Bobby, in order to take in control of the entire Sacred Society, to which Ron Orion insisted that he will gladly give her all the techniques and everything else, realizing that the Eclipse clan's fate and its destinies are rising higher. Within after that middle century, Infinita exactly tried to convince the rest of her people to join forces with her, but they could not exactly listen to reason. So with that, she withdrawn and defected from the entire Eclipse clan and from the rest of it completely. Within the ancient middle century, the great leader of the Clan of Destiny was able to completely meet up with the other great Four Nation Hunter elders and with the members of the White Clan, telling them that Infinita's great mission and dark ambition will pose a devastating threat to the entire Sacred Society and to the rest of Mixel society, and that the Eclipse clan must not be blamed for its true misdeeds of its leaders and founders. The other members of the great clans exactly respected Bob's true commitment and compassion to the Eclipse clan, and they actually told him that the Four Nation Hunters would not exactly punish the great clan members for the sins of their leaders, to which that would not exactly be good, which will actually create nothing but hatred and hostility among them, and it will create another sacred civil war against them, which they don't exactly need at the time, now that the leader and founder of the clan herself has proven to become another sinister, powerful threat that they don't want to exactly underestimate. To which Bobby completely agreed that he will take care of the threat of the leader and founder himself as well. On the predicament of the ancient century of the near primordial times, Infinita returned with great infinite powers and greater abilities, and with the monster under her sole control, which she used many dark monsters under her sole control, releasing infinite powers and abilities as she waged a battle toe to toe with the leader, with the founder, and with the legendary founder and leader of the great clan, with the great clan of destiny, to which they fought to hyperly exhaustion and to great lengths of power, which created a massive plague of destruction upon the entire warring front of the great sacred world's lands and entire villages on the other states, leaving nothing but a black mess of soul destruction. And upon its true arrival at the time, when nearing to a final end of the battle, Infinita exactly told the legendary founder and leader of the clan that her plan is about to begin taking phase, no matter what. Before she was actually able to do that, she was actually able to cut herself in the middle of the battle in order to actually create and perfecting a technique that the founder and great leader of the Destiny clan wasn't well aware of, which she was quietly planning ahead before she actually knew that her death was coming, but she actually saw it coming from a mile away, which she actually did as well. News quietly traveled very fast of great Infinitas of the legendary founder and leader of the Eclipse clan of Infinitas' death throughout the entire Mixel nations and throughout the entire Mixel nations and universe and throughout the entire Mixel nations and throughout the entire Mixel nations and especially within the entire Mixel society and within Sacred Society, realizing that things are going to actually escalate to such much worse, and then realizing that things are going to actually start escalating to so much worse things that could actually possibly go, that the forces of evil will actually try to profit from her body itself by using her blood DNAs and her infinite blood DNAs and her powers and the techniques she was able to gain for them to become more powerful as well. they decided it's best to hide Infinita's body and keep it in a very sacred tomb where no one will be able to find it and locate it. That news even reached the ears and eyes of the original Lord of Magic, to which he told his forces and the rest of his followers to keep a close eye on the entire sacred clans of the sacred world, making sure that they don't wreak havoc without his absence. At that predicament time, the original Lord of Magic had officially not rose to power, and when it was about to officially ascending to power at that particular rate, to which he told his followers that they must make sure that the planning and the success of the conspiracy now begins taking its place. Now the orchestration must be assembled at that rate. Over time, Infinita exactly rewoken from her faking of her death after she quietly planned ahead and decided to leave nothing but a sole duplicate body of herself, to which will actually buy her the time she needed. After that, she quietly went inside an ancient hideout, inside an ancient predicament hideout within the ancient civilizations of the old ruins of the warring states, to where the non-great villages and nations were heavily destroyed and ravaged by the powerful sacred wars and by the great powerful sacred wars and dark wars that were quietly bestowed by the monsters of the dark dimension that came from the other side in order to begin laying waste to the entire sacred society and to the rest of the sacred universe, to where origins and formation hunters were forced to be fighting them. At that time, Infinita exactly decided it's best to start planning her sacred plan and her sacred goal once and for all, to where she began assembling the great pieces of her sacred activity and of her mission once that exactly began starting out, to where she began exactly to where she actually began binding herself by creating a sacred binding contract to herself as well, making sure that her life force will remain highly contact, and also will remain highly powerful and also highly sufficiency, giving her the time she needed in order to creating another motivational plan that will back up her full plan in action. Over time, Infinita quietly remained within her hideout, keeping close watch and tabs over the great Orion clan and over the great clan of Destiny and over the great Four Nation Hunters and over the great Eclipse clan, making sure that things are quietly going the way they had to be and also quietly going according to plan, the way they especially needed to be. Without exactly being doing so, Infinita exactly told one of her shadowy allies to keep watch on everything else while she began actually conducting a sinister ritual and also projecting a powerful shadowy image of herself, where she conjured up an ancient statue, and where she conjured up an ancient humanoid statue of a monster, where she completely summoned it within the walls of the cave in order to harvest its powers and its genetic DNAs at the time as well. Within the 14th century, Infinita exactly decided it's time for her to regain her power and her immortality at the rate, to which a new mysterious ally figured out that Infinita was quietly after all alive and decided it's best to aid her on her respective goal and on her respective mission, to completing the subjectivity of her mission and the subjectivity of her precise goal as well. On the other middle century, Infinita quietly was able to find a sinister laboratory, to where she was able to cultivate the cells and the genes and the genomes and the great cryo-freeze genomes of her DNA, combining them and also subtly merging them all together instead of her bloodline, making sure that her great powers and her formidable abilities remain intact and remain also the exact same way as well, to which she was able to remain in hypersleep for many centuries and for many times. Within the fourth century, Infinita regained her beauty, her power, her elderly age, and all of that began disappearing and vanishing, as she was able to see that she's highly powerful and more highly stronger than she's ever been, and that she told the others that it's time for them to move forward with the great plan itself as well. On the precise day of the 20th of April, Infinita and the other secretive members began creating shadowy astral projections on themselves, as they all began to reconvene on a dark, misty cave to discuss the great death of the original Lord of Magic, telling the other members that he is quietly completely gone. Due to that, his goal still exactly managed to attract many powerful individuals and many prominent individuals to which they all precisely agree. And Infinita quietly remained silent as the group itself began moving to the next calendar phase of the objective of the assault activity of their plan. On the actual precisely 29 of May, Infinita quietly actually remained within the shadows of the organization, where she completely exactly watched as everything continued to go in according to plan, and she still kept tabs of the sacred great nations and everything else within the eclipse plan that's still precisely going not its true purposeful way at that particular moment of the time as well. On the actual on the precise day of the 9th of June, or precisely on the 9th of June, Infinita quietly met up with an old powerful colleague, to which she quietly viewed and respected within the forest hideout, to where she was actually able to tell him face to face that she's very quietly grateful that he was able to recognize her for who she definitely was, despite that the mysterious colleague also told her that he knew that she didn't actually die after all these centuries and years, that he was still after all alive, and that her will is more powerful and more dangerous than anyone else can completely understand or literally underestimate. Her old colleague and friend told her that they have new obstacles and new threats, such as the mighty universal heroes and the chosen child of prophecy known as Grace and Ferris, who was after all the one who killed the original Lord of Magic. Infinita quietly told her old colleague that despite that the death of the original Lord of Magic, his goal was very quietly touching and very quietly brightening to many of their people and to many of the other known races, to which they still felt very highly grateful for him for doing what needed to be done. Even if it was quietly highly destructive and quietly highly wrong to its end, it still served its glorified purpose and its true content of its mission. Doing that, so it provided them the necessary means for them to begin operating within the shadows, to which they are all free to do so as they needed to which the both of them precisely agreed on that as well. On the actual 15th of July, Infinita quietly remained within the actual shadows, remained within the actual shadows of the entire intergalactic trial, where the United Heroes were quietly charged for their wrong crimes for wreaking uncharted havoc and chaos upon the entire center of the intergalactical worlds and planets, to where they were brutally exactly framed from the great brutal wrongs and action, from trying to destroy the entire civilization and trying to making sure that the entire known universe and the rest of the sacred galaxy is well aware of their true existence, since they were quietly under the sole influence and control of the most powerful bad guys and super villain organizations, such as the Order of the Five and the great founders who actually used them to furthering their sole superiority goals and mission for great control over humanity and over the entire known universe and the rest of sacred society as well within its sole process, by using the members of the United Heroes as pawns to furthering their ultimate goal. Infinita quietly remained within the shadows with a very interesting hood amongst the crowd, and she was quietly standing far away, and she was literally quietly standing far away, and she was able to recognize all the other powerful super villains and greater associates who were also quietly sitting within the shadows. But in doing so, she kept to herself, and she was also listening closer to the trial, realizing that things are not exactly about to escalate to far worse, but they're about to actually go to a far greater destitute worse for its own, since the mighty heroes were about to be declared for their own. On the precise day of the actual actual 3rd of August, Infinita was quietly literally on the meeting with the rest of the other sinister members, as they all exactly projected shadowy astral projections of themselves, which is actually a mirror image of which is a mirror reflection of themselves, but in a shadowy form, not in a bright blue light form, in a shadowy form as well. Despite that, they were all exactly, particularly as the leader actually told the members that they must they must exactly step up the process of their plan, and they must completely speed it up soon as much as possible. Now that everything is about to turn into a wasteful, that the opportunity has been presented to them, and they must take it no matter what. They all precisely agreed, as Infinita remained quiet and very quietly still quiet as well. On the precise day of the 10th of September, Infinita was able to precisely meet up with the Iron Mask Man, on a different hideout, which was completely able to tell the mysterious collaborator and more powerful collaborator that she's after all definitely grateful for him by trying to reunite the most powerful criminals and supervillains, making sure that their goals and plans does successfully bear fruit in its true way, in its true greatness form. The masked individual exactly told Infinita, due to the fact that the rest of the entire mixed soul universe believe that you after all are dead and are quietly normal, they actually never saw this coming, that you actually did survive, and that your death actually literally paved a way for many of the operatives and for many of the followers to begin rising from the shadows and re-emerging to reclaiming what's rightfully theirs. Infinita quietly told the masked man that the great legendary dark deity king of darkness, the legendary great dark deity king of darkness will soon be returning. The Iron Mask Man told Infinita that he was also very much quietly well aware that the old colleague and powerful friend will definitely return, and that he's already has returned, as he quietly told her, since he wasn't quietly paying attention to that as well. On the actual 19th of October, Infinita was quietly present during the actual assembly of the meeting, to where the other members were all quietly present within the shadowy astral projections, as they all exactly reconvened to discuss the preparations and the goals of the plan, telling them now it's time for them to remove the threat and actually kill it right away. On the actual 13th of September, the mighty members of the Universal Founders and the mighty members of the World Heroes exactly were trying to precisely trying to escort the great refugees into the other known worlds and systems, to where they were actually taking an entire walk throughout the mountains, to where the great mercenaries and assassins began revealing themselves within the shadows, and in doing so, the great unknown member of a shadowy criminal organization began revealing themselves and telling the mighty heroes that this is the time for them to face their demise, and it's time for them to be gone. They had enough of the interference, and it's time for them to be precisely to be gone, and it's time for them to be precisely to be gone right and for all, with the mercenaries highly equipped with their own technology, and with their own capabilities and technology and skill sets. And the other super criminals, who are the operatives of the organization, were also highly equipped with weapons, and with great highly advanced weapons and destructive technology as well, provided and also supplied by the Shadow Empire warlords, just as a compensation, just as a sole compensation, a reminder that they all share a one common interest and a vested interest in making sure the goals of their true dreams bear fruit as well. Due to that, he was able to tell the forces to march up and attack the mighty heroes, to which the heroes exactly answered the calling and began fighting up against the forces, up against the destructive forces of evil, where the other refugees were fully were forced to continue to going on their own during the battle, to which the battle itself created a huge nothing of a huge blast within the mountain of the trees, to where the mighty universal founding leader released his forbidden technique in order to fight up against the mysterious shadowy member of an unknown criminal organization, to where he was able to hold up against his own butt, due to the fact that the member disappeared and vanished within the shadows at the time of the great battle. So did the other operatives, and so did the other assassin. The world heroes and the universal founders begin asking themselves that this attack is quite the proof that there are ancient criminal organizations that are more powerful and more highly now re-emerging, and that the death of the original Ono Magic has quietly managed to pave a way for them to do so. And the universal founder told the leader of the world heroes that it's time for them to tell them other members of the universal heroes and the 4 nation hunters of the intergalactic coalition and of the elders that they need to know exactly what's about to come and re-emerge once and for all as well. On the actual precise day of the 5th the actual 5th of December, the members of the organization all exactly begin to reconvene on the shadowy astral projection on a dark cave to which was another hideout of their own. This cave had powerful dark statues, which actually symbolizes one of the most powerful ancestry, symbolizes one of the most powerful greater ancestries of the four nation hunters, to which became the greater successors of their own kind and of their people, and the others symbolizes the great druids and the great warlocks and the other supernatural creatures and powerful monsters, to which the statues were quietly all around the entire dark cave itself. During the meeting of the assembly, the leader of the group exactly told the members that it's time for them to pull out and pull rank, since now that the universal founding heroes will alert the mighty universal heroes that they're planning and that the orchestration is about to take a directive turn. They must take a different approach in a very different way in order to speed up the planning of the organization, to which they all agreed that it's time for them to speed up the backup plan and also to taking a different route to which would be highly effective. And Infinita remained highly quiet during the entire meeting itself. On the precise day of the 7th of the 7th of January, the leader of the organization held up a video conference with one of the great newest high-ranking members, thanking him for the great job and literally congratulating him on his great sound and great sufficiency, telling him that the newest partner is very proud of his great work, removing a top competitor and crippling the top competitor's powers and control and ability, and trying to wiping out the mighty allies of the universal heroes, to which they thought that it's best for him that he joins the organization, since they also quietly have reserved a seat for him, which is very highly unlikely that he was able to receive one. And the mysterious member felt very pleased and very proud that he's now part of the group and of the organization itself. And Infinita was part of the video conference held by the leader. They are all quietly in the shadowy obstruction of bright light, to which it was able to conceal their identities as well. On the particular day of the 14th of February, Infinita was able to meet up with the other mysterious collaborators on the ancient dark crystal temple, to where they all mysteriously convened and told them that it's time for them to pull rank on the goal and to focus its sole activity on its true mission right away, to which the unification is what she's been dreaming of, and also to finding the ancient being that was said to be known to be mysteriously alive, to where they all agreed, and that is exactly what to do. That is exactly what they should actually precisely to agree of. They were all quietly within the shadows of the temple, so were the other members of the collaborator, as they all decided it's best for them to proceed with the dangerous tactical plan, as the others exactly began to reassure the others that everything else will go according to plan, and that the plan is basically set. And Infinita quietly said to the others, then let them proceed with the sole activity of the plan right away. On the precise 12th of March, the leader of the organization was quietly summoned by Infinita through his ancient powerful temple of the shadows of the great temple, to where he was able to where he quietly rules the great ancient civilized nation of the great temple nations, known as the known clan, to where he was quietly able to rule it with an iron fist. And the great individuals view the great leader as a godlike being and a great powerful savior sent from the ancient heavens to liberate them from the most darkest and most painful wars of sacred society and of the rest of the entire sacred universe's wars as well. At that particular time, the leader was able to meet up with Infinita within the shadows of the temple, telling him that the orchestrations of the planning are quietly going back along, and that everything else will begin taking its rightful place. Infinita quietly seemed pleased, and that things are now going the way they should, as she told the leader to not mistaken the power and the ability of the universal heroes. They're too deadly, and they must not be underestimated, to which he agreed that he will not make that same mistake, and he will not repeat it, not twice, not ever again. And so did the other member, precisely trying to make sure that Infinitor quietly knows that they are not meant to be messed with and they are very powerful. They can deal with a couple of handful of children who are very, very big on understanding their capabilities and their powers, which will completely result in their own demise. To which Infinitor quietly agreed. After that, she mysteriously disappeared as well. On the actual 17th of April, Infinita was able to go back to her mysterious hideouts within the old ruins, to where she was able to cultivate the ancient genes of the great humanoid statue, to where she was able to summon it through its full capacity and power, to where she was able to tell a powerful parasitic entity of a creature that the planning and mobilization of her goal are about to bear fruit, and one way or another they will successfully be able to do that as well. On the precise day of the 14th of May, Infinita went to a different hideout, a shadowy different hideout, which is quietly hidden in an ancient fog between lost nations and lost ships, within the lost islands of the sacred great nations, to where it makes it the perfect covering point to hiding everything, all ancient objects and weapons that were quietly lost throughout the entire powerful wars of the sacred society, known as the power war, the knowledge war, the dark war, the death war, the fire war, the elemental war, the cultured war, the sinister war, the unknown war, the powerful crystal war, the energy origin war, formation hunter war, darkest war, monster wars. Many of these powerful sacred wars were literally scattered within the entire sacred society of the entire sacred universe, to where the misty islands became a highly complete battleground, to where the entire known clans and the magical clans and the other civilization began dying and began to be ravaged at that particular point. Infinita quietly went inside the misty islands, to where she found an ancient cave that bear powerful ancient monstering goblin creatures as statues, within the entrance of the cave itself, to where there was a waterfall, little waterfall quietly dripping down between the ancient monster goblin statues as well. As she entered the cave, she was able to completely contact and recommunicate with her old powerful lover known as Sun Tzu. Not exactly Sun Tzu, meaning Ron Orion, actually Ron Orion, of the founder and legendary leader of the Orion clan, to which he was quietly still sitting within that ancient cave's hideout, telling Infinita that she's very impressed with the results of her goal and very, very quietly happy with the results of her mission, telling them that it's time for them to regain control of the respective worlds and nations, and it's time for them to do that once and for all. To doing so, Infinita quietly agreed, and that is exactly what she'll do as well, with him by her side as well. Despite this, the two of them exactly wore their individual great mask, to where each of them wore their great individual great mask, to where the mask exactly showed a very great unknown saddened human face, and the other showed a very great, also very not a very grateful face, not a very much quite of a happy face as well, to which both of them exactly hold hands, and their power, their great infinite technique and power, began gazing from their hands being bonded together like this, due to the fact that they're solely truly in love with one another and highly committed to one another, that they bond and they love, and the highly grounded connection and how they see each other makes it so powerful enough that their forbidden techniques and power were precisely able to merge with one another. Within an ancient hideout, there was another ancient monstering statue of a humanoid creature that was quietly actually one with the cave walls, one with the cave walls. So it was quite like in sync. Its hands were quietly on the other side, the other hands were quietly on the other side, the other hands came out from the other side within the very wall itself, and its power and eyes began awakening, due to the fact that the two of them were actually trying to awaken the creatures of the statue, realizing that they were trying to bind their power and their life force inside the statue, to which ancient powerful powerful mystical chains began coming out of their bodies, and that's when the power and the energy of the great humanoid statues and all the other remnants of the great humanoid statues began coming out, and they began taking and siphoning its life force, able to literally concentrating to tapping inside the entire individual creature's body, to where they were able to see beneath the ground the ancient limity of the ancient limity of power, the ancient limity of power of nature's true capabilities and of sacred energies, true capabilities, to where they were actually able to envision a powerful, greater, beautiful, very powerful flower that is meant to bloom once within the centuries after the phasing and passing of the ancient cosmic alliance, to where the both of them exactly realize that the ancient flower will soon bloom soon, and that it will grant power, dark abilities unlike any other, and that they must speed up the operation. That both of them successfully agreed on that as well. Despite this, guys, Infinita is very powerful, very resourceful, and very dangerous as well. She's a very sadistic, powerful, founding, legendary leader. There's an ancient, powerful statue about her. And there's an ancient statue about her as well within the ancient powerful waterfall, along with the other ancient statue of the great leader of the great legendary founder and leader of the great founder and leader of the Orion clan, known as Ron Orion. And in the middle of the waterfall, there's another powerful, formidable statue of the great founder and leader of the clan of Destiny itself, to which it stands in the middle, resembling between good and evil, and that evil and good, or evil and evil, can exactly get along and can exactly find a common ground. And an interest that good can always come between the two forces, or either make the two forces get along, standing as a bridge between the two worlds. Despite that, Infinita is very quietly skillful in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, marksmanship, very intelligent, possesses the power of great technician and great strategical tactics and battle tactics in her way, with the great power of teleportation, infinite power to which she can summon greater mysterious formidable techniques, and the greater power of summoning giant monster and goblin creatures to fight for her. And she was able to go toe to toe with the legendary leader and founder of the Orion clan, known as Ron Orion, and known as Bob, and also the great founder and legendary leader of the great legendary clan known as the Clan of Destiny, to where she was able to go toe to toe with the both legendary founding leaders. Due to this, their legacy endured. Infinita's legacy endured and survived. Her power and her abilities were feared and were never meant to be underestimated. She's very powerful and very destructive, possesses the power of wielding fire and lightning, Due to this, the Eclipse clan has a great infamous dark reputation of its great infamous powers and the abilities of using and utilizing devastating infinite powers and the abilities of lightning, due to their great negative emotions and the powers being charged by them. They possess a spiritual energy to which can never be unexplained, due to the great ancestry progenitor who became the son or the daughter of the great Mixel, of the great Mixel founder, who was able to create an unforgettable cycle of great demise and of great utter destruction as well. Due to this, the clan has gained fame and great powerful notoriety of its great feared and destructive power, to which the other clans within the entire Mixel universe have known never to go toe to toe with the Eclipse clan. One or the other powerful warring clans would either hire the Eclipse clan, or the Clan of Destiny, or the Orion clan, or the Four Nation Hunters, or the Origins, to fight their wars and their civil wars and battle. Due to that, they are the most powerful individual beings and creatures who are known to be the most greatest and most powerful ones out of all the other supernatural, alien, and superhuman communities and sacred hunters communities as well. Infinita is very resilient, very highly determined, shares a dark ambition, and has a powerful dream of unification, to which she was trying to do her entire life as well. Due to that, she loves her brothers and sisters and that she was able to gain so much loss and suffering through them, and that she felt very completely lonely and cut off when she lost the only two remaining members of her family, which only made her darker, and very ruthless and not very kind, not very quietly kind, and also very quietly made her very darker and not very quietly kind, and made her darker and very merciless as well. Due to that, she was able to shield and protect her emotions and guard them at all times as well. Even to the members of the organization, she was actually able to do that, not to showing any affection, not to showing any signs of humanity or humanity within the members of the organization. But she was able to gain traumatic respect of all the members of the shadowy organization that she was quietly able to join forces to, and she was also able to understanding the reasons and the goals of them, to where she was able to respect them and fully giving them the recognition they actually needed, only to trusting them and only the most powerful collaborators and the most dangerous allies to which she can trust. She and Ron Orion were formidable lovers, but they realized that their dream and goal would actually get in the way of that. So the both of them exactly sacrificed their true formidable love in order to make sure that the dream and the goal would actually cement. But it didn't actually cement, because Infinita's dark goal is a dream of unification, which is a dark and powerful goal to where the ancient great progenitors, creature and next descendant was trying to recreate, resulted in him disappearing. Where how he vanished or why became a mystery to the entire Mixel nation, and became a mystery to the entire Mixel descendants and to the rest of the Eclipse clan descendants throughout for so many centuries and years as well. And so did the Orion clan, trying to figure out where and why what happened to him and all of that as well. Due to this fact, Infinita was also able to gain the utmost powerful respect of the original Lord of Magic and recognition for him as well, recognizing her as a next powerful figure not meant to be underestimated, due to her reputation rising in power, wielding devastating infinite powers closer to his as well, making her the next successor in his great candidate. And the original Lord of Magic at the time was not precisely in power, to which he was actually able to respect Infinita for her great dream and for her great cooperation in trying to bringing back the dream of unification, and in trying to erase and eradicate wars and battles that would cause more strife and pain and misery. And Infinita quietly felt a great deal of great hurt and suffering deep down inside of her heart, and she decided to actually harden it in order to keep it buried, in order to actually secretly keeping it deeply buried inside of her, in order not to show any physical signs of emotion. But she does respect her closest colleagues and allies, to which they all do share a common interest and a common goal, to which they can all precisely gain in that as well. Abilities. Her powers are very powerful. Her complexion of her powers are very powerful. Able to manipulating earth powers, earth powers, and great fire abilities and lightning based abilities, and a power of teleportation, infinite beyond powers, and cosmic energy powers, and great summoning, great ultimate summoning propagational powers, and great body modifications which she made to herself during her great legendary battle with the founder and leader of the Destiny clan. But he was also gaining unknown abilities and great powers due to her evolving and her literally evolving and highly literally evolving and adapting. She even has a great power of summoning powerful destructive meteorites and all of that, creating utter domination and utter destruction. Even the power of utilizing the entire sacred world's resources and turning them against the world, and turning them against the world itself, by creating nothing but death and destruction upon its wake. She possesses the power of shadow abilities and the power of light abilities, to where she can utilize them and also rely on them. She's very highly good, and she respects her adversaries and her enemies and her opponents very well, to which she grants them the respect they deserve, completely respecting them of their great abilities and their great abilities and power, and also respecting the allies of the universal heroes and of the world heroes, completely able to actually know that they are powerful, and they can even actually go toe to toe with her. She's very highly organized, good in manipulating events, wars, and very precisely good in manipulating many prominent different individuals of the great sacred worlds, of the great sacred world societies, of the magic of the sacred magic universes, kingdoms, clans, council members of the great sacred world, sacred great nations as well in the process in order to furthering her ultimate goal and her ultimate mission. Deep down, she always loves Ron Orion no matter what, and the both of them still love each other. Their love is so powerful and so dangerous that it can easily make their powers and their abilities synchronize together and merge into one as well. As the ancient parasitical creature of a being of an entity once said to Infinita, that her love with Ron Orion's love is very powerful, so powerful enough to make the two of them dangerous to becoming the Omega and official couple of the most dangerous of all the other couples. Despite that, the original Lord of Magic and Laurel and Amber were also the most powerful ones, also the most dangerous, powerful ones, not meant to be messed with and not meant to be completely to be underestimated. Due to that the actual love made them dangerous and very powerful due to them accessing through the emotions and due to their power as well. And Infinita quietly told the great parasitical creature that love is exactly what made her. That love is exactly what actually kept the memory of her goal and her dream and her sole ambition of it to actually helping her to maintaining it and helping her to endure so much that she had to exactly keeping it strong and keeping it formidable due to the fact that they still are actually close and their love is a very powerful one. She's a great leader of the great eclipse clan and she leads it with great authority and with great power. All the members of the eclipse clan have managed to respect Infinita of a great loyalty and commitment to them. When she realized that the Orion clan was about to gain full dominance over the entire Sacred Society and over the rest of the entire Mixel Society as well, Infinita realized that her people will soon lose control of the entire Mixel Society as well, and that she thought that it's best to warn them and not let them. But instead, they fell under deaf ears and they did not exactly learn to heed her words until they themselves were able to see that Infinita was telling the truth, that the Four Nation Hunters and the other beings and creatures were about to gain full dominance and that it's time for them to begin a huge civil war. At that rate, Infinita took highly drastic steps, measures, fail-safes, just in case to make sure that nothing would never go wrong to the plan that she was about to take down. Even her ultimate sinister goal, to which she had another sinister objectivity with another powerful collaborator, to where she was able to tell the ancient legendary king of darkness's greater followers that they all must work together for the goal itself to bear fruit, and that she was able to actually synchronizing it and cementing it in a proper way to making sure the hidden allies and the hidden operatives would make sure the goal itself would bear fruit by any means necessary. Now, hideouts. Infinita is quite good in maintaining her individual bases of operation, such as many hideouts that are completely scattered within the entire sacred society of the sacred world, not of human society and not of the solar system, far away from that. She's very quite good in keeping those hideouts very secretive, as well as the central headquarters itself, which is the hideout that was quietly, which is the hideout itself that was quietly hidden within the ravages, which is quietly hidden within the ravages of the old wars and conflicts of the sacred clans that are waging a battle and they're waging a magical battle against the dragons and creatures and all others that completely ravage the other great villages, nations, and clans, and to where she uses those destructional sites as her hideouts in order to focusing her plan and orchestrating it in a proper way so that it can be cemented without any other further due interference. She's very clearly with a logical brain and with a logical mind and very highly organized and also quite good maintaining her individual bases and her central headquarters, giving her allies and her members the proper security and the proper way for them to protect themselves in the process. She's very well good at that. Manipulation and deception is very quietly her great specialty, but she doesn't utilize it that much. She possesses the power of mind control, telepathic communication, hypnosis, and also psychic communication, mind blasting. Great power of great infinite godlike abilities. She's feared and she's known not to be messed with. They are all quietly afraid of Infinita's power. Even her name herself is mentioned within the Four Nation Hunter history that Infinita is not to be messed with, that she's destruction herself, and when she returns, she will wreak unknown, uncharted destruction. And the ancient forces of the legendary King of Darkness have managed to also gain the respect of Infinita as well throughout the middle centuries, so that she can actually win them over. But she didn't win them over by being not something she's not. She became the full person of herself that she was always meant to be, to which they were all able to precisely able to respect and able to exactly recognize within her own self. She was also able to gain a closer relationship, a closer secret relationship and a partnership with the actual dark Phoenician hunter, with the ancient dark Phoenician hunter known as a fallen, due to the fact that they do share common interests within the out time of the centuries, because they do actually share it, and they were actually able to communicate with each other. They were actually able to still communicate with each other in different parts of the century, making sure that their communication remained only to them and only to them, that their colleagues and that the operatives will only know about the communication itself. She's very well organized, and that they are ancient, great sculptural paintings of Infinita and about her secret powers and her techniques, and she possesses many devastating, mysterious powers and techniques, as all the other members of the Eclipse clan houses the lesser techniques, but the more dangerous one as well. Very good and very highly resourceful, influential. The ancient legendary statue of Infinita houses the actual dream that she was trying to fight for, and the actual goal that she was actually trying to build and recreate with the reunification and with the re-embodied dream that she was trying to perfect within sacred society and within the Mixel society itself. That the other two legendary leaders, known as the Destiny clan leader, whose statue quietly is in the middle of the great two legendary leaders, symbolizes that the good force was trying to prevent both soul objectivities from bearing fruit as well, to which the great statues symbolize greater respect within the ancient waterfall itself to many followers and to many other clan members, knowing that Infinita's name means destruction and utter annihilation, and it cannot ever be spoken of, and that itself means utter destruction and utter domination. Catastrophic chaos will come with it as long as it comes. She's very feared and very well known as a powerful dark legendary leader and founder of the Eclipse clan, not meant to be dealt with and not meant to be precisely to be met with. Very organized due to the fact she's still operating within the shadows and working with more powerful, dangerous, sadistic criminals, and she becomes the bridge of many ancient criminal shadowy with many ancient criminal elite organization, maintaining the discrepancy and maintaining the soul consistency that they all need each other and that they all have to work together to focus their soul's activities on their precise goal, to which they all share a common interest of a ground, and that they all have another sinister plan up upon their sleeve. While she is a super strategist and a super tactician, and she's very wise and very good in wielding many weapons and many blades, highly resourceful, 12 level intellect, super intelligent, very destructive, and very powerful. Her name herself meaning Infinita, resemblance, destructive, catastrophic, chaos, and power beyond its wake, not meant to actually to be underestimated. Many worlds and planets fear Infinita and her very name herself, meaning that she cannot be underestimated. Her statues are literally scattered within the entire ruins of many alien worlds, planets, and civilization, showing telling them that she cannot be messed with or quietly not be taken lightly. Even her name herself speaks her reputation for her as well. Well, that's it for today's episode, guys. I'll actually see you tomorrow on Thursday, which there'll be more noise and more everything on all of that. But take care of yourself, guys, and have a blessed day and have a great blessed week. And I love you all so much, and thank you and I appreciate for your support. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your support in loving and in following me. Please continue to do that, and please stay with me on my journey. And yeah, may God bless you all, and may you all take care of yourself. See you tomorrow on Thursday. Let me go and upload this episode and everything else, and then yeah, I'll see you tomorrow on Thursday, and we'll talk tomorrow. And stay safe and stay happy. Blessed day, and remember that, guys, you always have my great heart, and literally is there for you guys. So take care of yourself. Love and appreciate you, and bye.